Yeah, hello, welcome to my channel. This product here I got from Partsology. It's a DNJ rebuild kit. There's two kits you can get, a rebuild kit or a master rebuild kit. This one here is the regular rebuild kit without timing chain, without the oil pump or front housing assembly. Those are the thrust bearings for the crank shaft, which I purchased with this kit. That's the bushing for the piston pin to connecting rod. These are the main bearing for the engine. I have a 2.2 liter Toyota Camry engine, so that's for that engine, and which is a pretty popular engine I think for rebuilds. I'm doing an in-frame overhaul, so I bought this kit specifically for this purpose to install. There's the numbers on the main bearing for this engine. As you can see, it looks comparable to a regular bearing set. I don't know if there's a thickness difference from the Toyota manufacturers as opposed to these products here. Those are the rod bearings for this particular engine. These are standard that I got. You have a choice of standard, 10,000s, 30,000s over. There might be 50,000s, I'm not sure, but I know for standard 10,000, 30,000, there's definitely bearing sizes for those particular engine sizes. So I think the pistons can be oversized too in that case, obviously, because you can use different sizes usually if you do oversizes. But these are what the parts look like. I took them out of the package so you can see, but I'm not taking them out of the plastic wrap because I don't want to lose anything until I'm ready to use it. This here is the first bearing set for number one piston rings. They're color coded with the numbers on there, so that's hard to see at first, but that's the first, standing for the first rings that go on the piston. It's the top. And then there's a blue colored and yellow colored other third set, which is the oil control ring, so it says 3 on there. Those are the retainer rings, oil control rings. And the blue right there is, of course, number 2 piston rings. And just to look at them, they don't look too good to me. I really had problems at first thinking I was getting burnt because I've been ripped off since the pandemic problem coming on. I've been burnt a couple times by not really researching the products websites to make sure they're legit, because sometimes they sneak them in there and you don't realize until you're already checked out that you just got burnt. Fortunately, I go through PayPal, so I get my asses covered, and they've been gracious enough to get my refunds back and reimburse me for the money. Those are the retainer rings for the piston bushing pins. Once you install them, this here's the piston. It's forged aluminum. It doesn't look bad, doesn't feel bad, and I was mildly surprised. So I think just for stock, I've seen some videos on the YouTube, of course, and they're the 5S FE 2.2 liter Toyota Camry engine. Mine's a 1999 year. There's a couple of videos that show these products being used and installed, and you can hear them running, and a year later they say they're still going strong. So the product has good reliability as far as I'm concerned, as far as what I've seen. So these pistons don't look too bad. I think the ring diameters look a little small than maybe standard for a stock piston. I may be wrong because it's such a small size. I'm a heavy equipment diesel mechanic, so I'm used to bigger size pistons and rings on, and Chevys and Fords, so forth. So this Toyota is kind of a new project for me, but I love the little car. It's such a reliable little engine that it's worth it. It's 359,000 miles of blue head gasket. So I replaced the upper end on it, and I had one of the pistons let go. These are the boxes that came in, the DNJ products, and I got these from Partsology. Just so we're clear, the DNJ company seems to be it's one of these companies that concealed in another corporation, but it's out of Chatsworth, California. I guess they're imported from China. So these are the freeze plugs that go in the engine. They're made of brass. So they look like they're good, as far as parts go. And I'm used to seeing so many parts, and So I'm mildly surprised. Like I say, I mean, they came pretty prompt. I think it was like a 4-day turnaround. I thought I was going to get burnt, but I didn't. I was mildly surprised, and I'm very pleased. So I think I'm going to have a good rebuild and a good engine after this. I got a complete gasket kit. I'm going to show you here in a moment. Here's the gasket kit. So it's got, the front and rear gaskets, which is, the rear main seals and the front crank pulley side gaskets, cam gaskets, exhaust gasket, your valve cover gasket, and it's got an oil pan gasket, which I appreciate because I'm not really I'm old school, so I'm not really into the silicone crap for everything, but you're going to need some silicone for some of the seal joints areas on the valve cover for sure. So here's the head gasket for that rebuild kit. It's inside the original package I just showed you. I pulled it out so you can see it better. Toyota uses a thick gasket in between its cast iron block and its aluminum head. So that's why it's thicker than maybe some other American domestic cars that you see on the highway. I'm not really used to the Toyota. It's my first Toyota rebuild. But yeah, the gasket looks fairly good, fairly thick. It looks pretty good. So I don't think there's any problems. Like I say, I've seen an YouTube engine being rebuilt with this kit, and it runs good. And the guy said a year later, it's still running strong. So I think it has a chance to make it work good. So from Partsology, the DNJ.